Okay, everyone, what's good? It's your boy Dak908, aka the Dig Dug himself, and today I'm going to talk to you guys briefly about my time with the Monster Hunter World Iceborne beta. Now, I waited to do this up until I think the last day. Well, not I think it is the last day of the first wave of the beta, so that way I can fight the monsters quite a bit, do a couple of streams, and really get my rocks off, and finally sit down and say what I think about them thus far. So, what this video is going to do is it's going to serve two purposes. It's going to serve the purpose of me showing you guys Banbaros, which is what I'm christening his name as. I actually forget his actual name, but it's like Banbar something or something, whatever. I don't know. You guys know. I don't know. I don't really care. But he is akin to that of Durambaros. So I put the two together and just named him Banbaros. It's a fitting name in my opinion. Now, regardless, what I feel about this game is that I feel like it's really nice. It's good. It's good. I like the Hoarfrost Reach. It's a really cool region. Lots of cool, interesting stuff in it. Lots of tiny details that are really cool for people who like to really explore and like the immersion to a particular world. Now, I am a stickler for it as well, so I was very happy to see a lot of nuanced things change and things added on and so on and so forth, like the popo herds, all the new other fauna and everything else like that, the flora as well. It's just a really cool place. I mean, you get to see the Alteca, I think they're called, the deer thing, like the reindeers or whatever, the moose if you want to call them that. And then you have a couple of new ones out here that actually are a bit more like a badger, and they themselves are relatively hostile, but it's really cool nevertheless. I really like the way they did it. I like the landscapes. I like the path that you can actually take, the terrain, how it's actually quite vertical, and then a bit of horizontal stuff, and then a bit of like flat land, but then a couple of cool places you can actually jump in and here and there. It's just really cool. I like how they did it. The place is really dynamic and it looks fun. Hoarfrost Reach, gets a A+++ in my book. It's a really cool area. Now, I wonder if there's going to be more areas in the expansion. I was told that this was just one of the cold, icier areas that we're able to explore, which is cool. I mean, it wouldn't be much of a massive expansion if it only had one area in it. I mean, that's ridiculous. That's way lower than what a Monster Hunter game would usually do. Release one new map and the upgrade to the main game, the base game, if you will. That sounds kind of sketchy. So I'm hopeful that there's going to be plenty more, because if I'm recalling things correctly, there were a couple of things I saw in the trailer that didn't actually, well, I don't remember seeing in this beta, like location-wise. But with that being said, let's talk about Banbaros real quickly and Beotodus, or I'm calling Icy Todos, or no, Icy Oth, I think, and then also Tigric. So, Banbaros, he is really cool. I really like this monster. I love like everything about him. His armor is the coolest armor to date. I mean, aesthetically wise, it is by far the most appealing armor I've ever seen with both of my eyeballs at the same time. I mean, you're this man of a Viking, you know what I mean, like a man's man of a Viking. Like, it kind of reminds me of the game For Honor, the Raider Viking, where it's like manly Viking, and you look like a manly burly Viking with his giant overcoat as well. I mean, it looks godlike. I am in love with his armor. Now, the monster himself, really cool monster. I've always liked Durambaros. I even wanted Durambaros to actually be in like a DLC monster in this game, and I made a video all about that. If you want to check it out, you can look here. But what is to be said is that the coolest thing about him is he reminds me more of like Bareth, but has the body of a Durambaros. He doesn't spin. He doesn't use his tail as a hammer type device, slamming it all over the place. He doesn't really do that. He charges more frequently, more akin to that of Bareth. He is also a bit slimmer than your usual Durambaros. But one thing I was also noticing, that monsters that live in icier areas tend to be innately smaller to other monsters that are relatively akin to them. This isn't 100% the case, but it's kind of the case. We'll speak on it a little bit later when I talk about the Beotodus, when I make a video exclusive to him. But in and of himself, he is actually the smallest, if I'm not mistaken, the absolute smallest piscine wyvern that you actually get to fight in the Monster Hunter series, beating out that of even the Sepidrome, who lives in the desert. But the Banbaros, he's not very big. He has longer legs than Durambaros, I like to say, but he's not as burly as, the former. But he doesn't need to be. He really doesn't need to be. He needs to fit in his environment, and he does. He is so in tune with his environment that he reminds me of that of Rajang, who used to pick up the rocks out of the ground and throw them. He will run into a massive trees and come back with a fallen tree in his antlers. That's what they're called. Almost called them trunks, but in his antlers, and use that as a means to charge at you and then eventually fling this at you. Now, the first time I got hit with this attack, I was blown away. I was like, what in the world is going on? My man threw a whole tree at me. I was so confused, but it's super cool. I love his attacks. I like essentially everything about him thus far. So I know without a shadow of a doubt, once we actually get the beta full on and going through, I am going to be making his armor. Facts. His armor is godlike to me. And I don't know if there's a transmog type feature in Iceborne. I don't know if there is. There might be. They might have said something about it. If they didn't, then I'm probably still going to run his armor as a transmog set if it's a thing. But I doubt it because they still want to make the layered armor a thing. I'm pretty sure they still want to make layered armor a thing, so we probably won't have to have any of that. But on cue, we get to see the Beotodus here fight the Banbaros, because I was just about to talk about them. Now, when they do turf war, it's very reminiscent to that of Bareth versus Lavisol. Excuse me, Beotodus. I mean, it's essentially the exact same thing. They took the exact animations and everything. When Banbaros being surprised that he went under the snow, and to the Beotodus actually wrapping around him, and then also Banbaros tossing him off. So nothing new there, but Beotodus, or Iceoth, if you will, he is really unique. I like him. He's probably the most unique pissing wyvern out there. Beotodus, I wouldn't even say he himself was unique, because even though he was a wholly new monster, when I first fought him, I didn't feel like I need to learn anything new to fight him. He just felt like another pissing wyvern. It felt like if you fought any measure of them, you'd be very okay with actually beating them. So, nothing new there. But the Beotodus, when we make his exclusive video about him, I will talk to you guys more about how I think he's really unique and really dope. But I just really feel that he's a great fit in this game. I was mad that they put him in there and not Zamtros. But I guess, you know, hey, reuse some old assets, so on and so forth. Whereas Zamtros will be making wholly new assets. But it is what it is. Regardless, though, I do like the Iceborne beta. I had a lot of fun with it. I can't wait to actually play the full game. And I'm not going to get the Super Extra Mega Special Edition, but I will get the Silver Armor Edition thing, because that looks kind of cool. But anyways, this has been your boy Dak908, aka the Dig Dug himself. If you all enjoy yourself, hopefully you found this video interesting. And if you like the beta, or if you want to take part in the beta, let me know. I want to know what you guys thought about it. Put it in the description, well, the comment section. Let's get the discussion going.